If you look at the history of countries around the world, when you start treating people differently, not because of any harm they're doing anybody, but because they're different, that's the path whereby freedoms begin to erode. And bad things happen. And when a government gets in the habit of treating people differently, those habits can spread. If somebody is a law-abiding citizen who is going about their business and working in a job and obeying the traffic signs and doing all the other things that good citizens are supposed to do, and not harming anybody, the idea that they are going to be treated differently or abused because of who they love is wrong. Full stop.
Just like President Obama, I think we also need to be able to speak frankly about some of these things. And the fact of the matter is that Kenya and the United States, we share so many values. Our common love for democracy, entrepreneurship, value for families. These are things that we share. But there are some things that we must admit we don't share. Our culture, our societies don't accept. It's very difficult for us to be able to impose on people that which they themselves do not accept. This is why I repeatedly say that for Kenyans today, the issue of gay rights is really a non-issue. We want to focus on other areas that are day-to-day living for our people. The health issues that we have discussed with President Obama, these are critical. Issues of ensuring inclusivity and of women, a huge section of society that is normally left out of the mainstream of economic development. What we can do in terms of infrastructure, what we can do in terms of education, in terms of our roads, in terms of giving our people power, encouraging entrepreneurship. These are the key focuses. Maybe once, like you have, overcome some of these challenges, we can begin to look at new ones. But as of now, the fact remains that this issue is not really an issue that is on the foremost mind of Kenyans.
While making amendments to the Commonwealth Parliamentary Association Charter that emphasizes democracy, good governance, peace, security and human rights, the UK delegation requested that homosexuality be included as a human right. The request was vehemently rejected, mostly by African countries that insisted that homosexuality is a crime that should not be accepted. MPs from Cameroon told the conference that a law criminalizing the vice has already been passed in their country.
It is a crime punishable under our laws, and we intend to keep it as that for long.
So let us, if we believe and have signatories to the Human Rights Charter, then we have to respect the rights of every human in this universe.
Who should define human rights? A voter in my constituency asked me if animals know their rights, a male one goes for the female one. Why should the human beings not understand their rights?
The African delegates insisted that since Europeans have been left to practice it freely, countries that are still opposed to it should be respected.
If you look at the United States, for example, over 36 states have not yet accepted homosexuality in all its entirety.
This will again conflict with the legislative framework, the constitution, the law of the nation, that need to be reformed slowly to prepare the psychosocial preparation of the community and the citizens.
Unless we are saying we've run out of issues and now matters of sex is more important and it's really threatening the Commonwealth.
At the same function, the newly elected chairperson of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentary Association, Rebecca Kadaga, pledged to work hard to increase the numbers of women in leadership
We cannot
positions.
ask Senegal to say tomorrow we legalize homosexuality and tomorrow is gay parades. That's not possible either, because our society doesn't accept it. Society will evolve. It will take as long as it takes. I believe that even in northern countries, this debate isn't totally exhausted. Senegalese public opinion massively backs the criminalization of homosexuality. Under the country's laws, anyone found guilty of having gay sex is liable to 5 years imprisonment.
Say we're going to be civilized if we only allow it. Are you saying we are very primitive now because we are frowning upon homosexuality? Even animals don't do it. Why should we be forced to do it? Because we want to be seen to be smart, to be seen to be civilized and advanced and so on.
The row blew up after two men, seen here with their lawyer, were jailed for 15 years for taking part in what's known in the country as a crime against the order of nature, the legal term in Zambia for gay sex.
When the president doesn't want to hear what I have to say, he gets all the protection.
America's top diplomat in Zambia, in the light suit, appears to have had a cordial relationship with the Zambian leader up until now. Here he's being shown around the State House gardens in Lusaka. But the US diplomat said he was personally horrified at the jailing. And in an uncharacteristically tough statement for a diplomat, the ambassador lambasted the government for corruption, said poachers got lighter sentences, and went on. Decisions like this oppressive sentencing do untold damage to Zambia's international reputation by demonstrating that human rights in Zambia is not a universal guarantee.
Hi, I'm Dan Foote, the new United States Ambassador to the Republic of Zambia.
It's all so different from the American ambassador's welcoming video on taking up his post in Zambia.
More importantly, we can't wait to engage with the people of the country.
The US is a big aid donor to Zambia, but the Zambian president said no amount of money could make him change his mind on homosexuality.
A retraction or apology would do, but I don't know, to be honest with you, how far this matter will go. Because already you're tying it to aid. If that is how you're going to bring your aid, then I'm afraid the Western can leave us alone in our poverty, and we will continue scrounging and struggling and see how we can get going.
The president already cancelled a meeting with the US ambassador, and it's hard to see how their relationship can be rebuilt with such diverse views on homosexuals.
They require help, obviously. For me, I think they're sick. That's how I see it, but they need help. The fact that they're going to jail probably is one thing, but help should be rendered to them. A pardon could be considered, but not in the manner that the ambassador is coming out, like insulting the collective wisdom of the Zambian people and the sovereignty of this state. You don't do that.
But the jailing and the row is likely to cement Zambia's reputation of being one of the most dangerous places in Africa to be gay. Alex Crawford, Sky News, Lusaka.
Is through mass political organization. I think we're about at the conclusion. Fundamentals for unity presupposes organization. Now, we did say one thing, and this is a point we must hammer home. We said that when you think, you must think differently from the enemy. The confusion is here. Many Africans in America actually think, and even some who call themselves revolutionary and Marxist-Leninists say that we Africans in America have the same culture like other people in America. And they say it. This is a great error. This causes a great deal of confusion. Secretary says, à chaque peuple sa culture. Every people have their culture. As a matter of fact, our culture has been in conflict with the American capitalist culture and continues to be and will be until we destroy it. If you're not thinking clearly about your culture, you'll make big errors. I'll give you an example. People have a problem with gay rights and gay and lesbian rights. Man says, you know, how come I hear you speak? I never hear you speak about gay and lesbian rights. That's right. He said, but I go, all the others, they speak about it. I said, we are not from the same political platform. I fight for my people's culture. I know they have one. My job is every day to more properly define it and to fight for it. You think we don't have one, so you fight for it.
We equally reject attempts to prescribe new rights that are contrary to our values, norms, traditions, and beliefs. We are not gays.
One of the major issues, and it's a holdover from sort of colonial Victorian, is the issue of sexual preference in many African countries. In Kenya, to be gay, the LGBT community is illegal. They just want to have equal rights, the same privacy and equality as all other Kenyans do. Is that something that you aspire to for your country?
I want to be very clear, Christiana. I will not engage in a subject that is of no, it is not of any major importance to the people and the Republic of Kenya. This is not an issue, as you would want to put it, of human rights or this. This is an issue of society, of our own base as a culture, as a people, regardless of which community you come from. This is not acceptable. This is not agreeable. This is not about Uhuru Kenyatta saying yes or no. This is an issue that the people of Kenya themselves, who have bestowed upon themselves a constitution, right, after several years, have clearly stated that this is not a subject that they are willing to engage in, yeah, at this time and moment. In years to come, possibly long after I'm president, who knows? Maybe our society will have reached a stage where those are issues that people are willing, freely and open to discuss. I have to be honest with you. And that is the position that we have always maintained. Those are the laws that we have, and those are laws that are 100% supported by 99% of the Kenyan people, regardless of where they come from.
So,
it's a very
you're going to get yourself into trouble. Because what you've categorically just stated is that this is not an issue for us, for the Kenyan people, yes. And you don't think that the idea of their privacy, their equality, their rights is important.
This is,
but it's a global issue right now.
It's important to them where they are.
Why is it not important
saying
to you
that it
as
is
president
not
of the country?
Important to me as the leader of 49 million Kenyans, and after, if you want to ask me my personal opinion.
What is your personal opinion?
After I finish my process, I can talk about my personal opinion. But as the leader of the people of the Republic of Kenya, I represent that which our people are desirous to be. And I have no choice, but that is my position.
Would you publicly say that people who are LGBT, gay members of the Kenyan population should not be discriminated against, should not be violated, should not be abused?
No Kenyan should be abused, should be, mistreated in any particular. Every Kenyan is protected by law, every single Kenyan. But they also must recognize that their freedoms are also must be taken into the entire context of the society that they live in. Because this is not a question of governments accepting or not accepting. This is a question of society, right?
Currently, it's a legal process.
Yes. And that legal process is based on the society that you live in, and that's why laws are made. So I think that's all I have to say about that particular subject.